Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Politically Incorrect episode 4. Today, me and Ninrok have two special guests with us, two persons with knowledge and courage from India who started ex-Muslims of India. And I'm so happy to have a conversation with them and Ninrok, of course. Let's start before I just saw Haris Sultan here, I think, atheist Muslim. No, atheist ex-Muslim or something. I saw somewhere here.
Yeah.
So, okay, hi Haris, if you are there. And we have with us Dohakin and Hina. We will talk about, first of all, there is apostasy, how they became ex-Muslim, and their background a little bit, and how is the situation of ex-Muslims or blasphemy cases or everything in India. So I'm so happy that they are contributing with this group, this organization or Facebook page or whatever they do with the name of ex-Muslims of India. And welcome, Doakin, Hina, and Ninrok.
Thanks.
Hello.
So let's start with Hina maybe first. And Hina, can you tell about yourself and you are a Muslim, right? And how you and why you left Islam?
Yeah, so first I would like to thank you so much for this opportunity. It's,
Hina, I'm sorry. Can you speak a little louder or have a microphone closer to you, please?
can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear, but
Is it low?
Okay.
I heard clearly. You said
Okay,
it.
then just continue. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to be here and talk to you guys. This is great. So about me, I left Islam about 3 years ago, and I was more like a liberal Muslim before, and I used to be labeled a cherry picker because I was always about okay, this I will do this and I won't do that. I won't wear hijab and things like that. So I was called a cherry picker, and so when my parents became more religious, they asked me to read the Quran, and I thought, okay, if I am a Muslim, I should know what Islam is about, and that's what I did. I read the Quran, and I became an ex-Muslim. I found a lot of basically, I became a feminist much before I could call myself a Muslim. I could see the misogyny in Quran. I could see one thing that really hit me was so in Quran, Allah talks to Muhammad, and he says, "Tell your men to do this." But then when he talks about women, he says, "Tell your men to tell their women." So that little difference was what hit me because why wouldn't God talk to me directly? Why wouldn't there be verses about women directly? Why do I have to hear it from men? So that's where my seed of doubt began, and it culminated into a lot of identity crisis, existential crisis, mental health issues, a lot of therapy sessions, and finally I'm here to talk to you guys.
Fantastic, fantastic. It is always amazing that almost every ex-Muslim have one thing is in similar. Everyone have different stories, but one thing is always, almost always, is similar, and this is the that when we start to read our books, start to read the Quran and understand it, and when we read the other text and understand it, then really it is impossible to stay in Islam. If you have a critical senses in order, and you read with free mind, without thinking that this is the holy scripture, then it is impossible to stay in Islam. I believe that, and I'm so happy to hear your story. It's amazing. And Doakin, and you?
Yeah. So it's nice to be here. So I'll share about how I, how I became an ex-Muslim. So like from the start, my parents, they put me through. I was a little privileged to, they put me through a good education, and it really started, in my mind, the scientific way of thinking. So when the scientific way of thinking happened, and I studied chapters like evolution, and science, and laws of physics and everything, and then side by side, my parents tried to give me Islamic education as well. So when I read the translations of the Quran and all, I realized that either this is true or this is true. Both cannot be true. And the absurdities which I encountered in the Quran, then I realized, okay, this is not true, and this is fake. And so little by little, as I began going through life, and I kept seeing all the stupid things that people do in religion. So it was clear to me that this is a sham, and the reality is something much separate from what religion tries to show you. And basically what they use is fear, the fear of, you will burn in hell if you don't do this. So these kinds of fear tactics, only affect you if you do not know the truth, and you do not say think scientifically, and you do not you just give yourself to this thing, like some kind of concept that when I die, is the fear of death, the main fear which is there. So if you let go of that fear, and just accept the truth of life, then you realize that, okay, you don't need religion to really live. So all these things came to me as a realization as I kept growing, and then I, little by little, I just let go of the fear, and I really became ex-Muslim by then.
Mm. And then when this
Yeah.
happened, Joaquin, uh,
Yeah.
is it when you left Islam? Is it
Islam, I can say, like, officially, if you say, like, I left Islam, it was around, I was 18 to 19 years old at that
yeah.
time. So I had a personal tragedy in my life, and I, at that time, I tried to turn towards God and all, but nothing really helped. So that was a cementing moment of my life, that I said, yeah, okay, now I have tested and found that God and religion does not really help.
But after you discovered that you don't believe any longer to Allah,
Yeah.
how you live it? You acted like a Muslim, or have you the freedom in India to express yourself that in your community that you don't believe Allah anymore?
Okay, so as long as if I am living on my own, and if I'm living a personal life which is not with some community, I can I can live as a atheist. But since I'm living with my family, I live in a community, I have to show that yes, I'm still Muslim, but inside I know that I'm a atheist. So sometimes I have to fake pray, sometimes I have to go to some Friday prayer. It's really taxing for me to do that, but yes, to keep a harmony, I have to do it, just to live in that community. Because the atheists in India, they are, really in a precarious situation right now. The first you like first you have to think about how your community will treat you if you reveal to them that you have left the religion. It's a really shocking revelation to the community that no, this guy has left Islam. And there are this thing right now there is a fundamental this thing nationalistic this thing environment in the country, the rise of Hindutva. So even the Hindutva people, if you see, if you go and declare that, okay, I am not a Muslim, they will ask you, if you are not a Muslim, what are you? So they will expect that you have turned to some other religion. The concept of leaving all the religions behind is still alien in India, and people do not realize what that is. So atheism is considered very rare.
It is sad, really. But
Yeah.
when I think, because India, sometimes, when people think that India is like with many different kind of people and religion and tolerance may be there, and like they are living in a harmony.
Yeah.
But people are forgetting because of conservative, both Muslims and Hindus existing, and there are a lot of extremist movements, I believe. Uh, but but,
Yes. you-
but Muslims are minority in India, but it is a very huge minority, right?
Yes, it's a huge minority. See, like Muslims in India are living in concentrated communities, but those communities are huge. So if you are living inside a Muslim community, it will be a huge area. So it's really it's really difficult to escape that
Hmm.
if you
It is
want.
there, before we go. I'm going to Hina back. There is a question says that. Oh my God, what's happened?
Are those masks a protection from coronavirus or coronavirus? Lol.
The
Something
works
like
for both.
Oh, sorry,
yeah,
sorry. I'm back. I'm back. Two
yeah.
type. Oh, that's it. Okay, I'm there now. Okay, there was a question. Says, are those masks a protection from coronavirus?
It is kind of a protection from both actually, in a way because I am still in closet. Can't, I can't reveal my identity yet because I don't know what the consequences will be. I don't think I am in danger of being killed or murdered, but I can still very much lose my family. I can be disowned. So those dangers are real, and I can't, for now, take a risk to reveal my identity.
I think that's a very interesting way you say that you are still in the closet, an ex-Muslim that is in the closet. Because here we use the closet term only for homosexuals and people who want a different gender than the one they have, and people who are really known to use that term over here are not people who leave a faith or stop believing in God or Allah. It's more like for people who have had it's related to sexuality, but being in a country where you are rejected and not accepted, I suppose that is a very accurate term to describe it as. Uh, you
Yeah,
can.
that is very true because personally, I sometimes relate a lot with the queer community around me. The struggles that they face is something that I can very well relate to because though it's not the same thing, though their struggles are a little different to us, but the the fear of being abandoned or ridiculed or even met with violence is very much real. So yeah.
Um, but a question: how is the situation in like India? Is there any episodes like where blasphemy cases, which like people have been killed because of blasphemy or apostasy in the last? Have you heard?
Uh, yeah, cases
Yes,
of black.
we have some cases. So yeah, I'll show you some. Uh, I'm sharing my. Can I share my screen?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
will allow it. Just send it.
Okay, this one.
And here is Haris Sultan and Rishwin,
Hi.
ex-Muslims of Sri Lanka and Australia, says hi to us. And
Okay,
if they are
hi.
here, later in the end of program. If they want, they can join us.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so as you can see from this headline, in the state of Tamil Nadu, a youth was killed for being an atheist, and as you can see, this was a done by a member of a Muslim radical group.
Can you zoom in, please, little more?
Yeah. Can you see this
Okay.
now?
Yeah, right.
So this is the headline. This Tamil Nadu youth killed for being an atheist. Father says he too will become one.
Oh,
Here you can see it's done allegedly by the members of Muslim radical group.
right.
You know, this
Except this is the situation which ex-Muslims are living in, especially. But people doesn't understand. Many people in the West actually doesn't
Yeah,
understand.
Yeah, I would also like to point this thing that his father says that he would also become an atheist because that is why my son was killed. It kind of also shows that India is not just like a very homogeneous kind of a society. We have all sorts of Muslims here. We have people who don't really care about religion. We have people who are very much into religion, and we have the violent ones. But that doesn't mean that we have a threat from every Muslim. There is a kind of a cultural Muslim community also that goes here, and it's just that it's we can't just club all Muslims in that one category that everyone is dangerous. So that is something I find very interesting with that father's note.
Right, right.
Well, I feel like I should ask this: the abandonment of issue when you openly are ex-Muslim. That is the major trouble that you are facing. Being left
yeah.
alone. You're not afraid of being attacked. You are more afraid of being left alone. Or is
Uh,
it also?
yeah. So, I mean, I wouldn't say that nobody gets attacked. Also, though, like legally, constitutionally, we are very much legal to not believe in religion at all. But society-wise, if we are very vocal, if we are attacking Islam, there is a chance that we are in danger. But if we are just living our lives, uh, I don't think personally. I don't think that there is a lot of danger to ex-Muslims, but there is definitely danger from family, in immediate family and immediate neighborhood that can, be dangerous for us. We've had personal stories of our members who came out and have had very tragic stories.
Hmm.
On the terms, is it something like honor killing, religious honor killing? Is that something? Because
So I
in Islam,
have,
you are not allowed to leave Islam.
yeah. I haven't personally come across ex-Muslims in India who were killed by family. They have been killed by the community. They have been disowned by the family. They have been beaten, abused, married off to other Muslims. They've been through other sorts of abuse, but I haven't heard of honor killing as such for people who have left Islam.
Okay, so
But there could be cases, I don't know.
it's still not as bad as in a
Yes.
Muslim country then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. There's
Right.
also this other thing that this is something also, whatever I'm saying is, guys, it's my own personal opinion. That the other thing is also that I feel that, we have a bigger threat from Hindutva, where I can be killed for just being a Muslim, for having a Muslim name, or looking like a Muslim. That is a bigger threat to us because there have been a lot of mob lynchings of Muslims on the roads in India. So I
Yeah.
think Doha King, I guess he's not here right now. He's got some stories about it.
Okay. I hope he will come back. But Hina, why why you start to or you and Doakin started the movement ex-Muslims of India
Yeah, so actually,
earlier.
we actually came across Dohakin. He didn't start the movement with me. There is another person had. Both of us started this thing. It is actually kind of a funny story because we met accidentally. I was when I left Islam. I was looking for people who were like me. I knew there were people on the internet, but I knew no one in real life. So I happened to there was a support group in my university, and I happened to talk about my story of not being Muslim. And this person told me that she knows someone who's also not Muslim. And then I met that person. He's not here right now, and we started this group. He knew some other people, and by snowballing, we are now a group of 18 people.
And you have your Facebook page, and is there any other social media accounts you
Yes,
guys
yes.
have?
So we have a Facebook page, a Twitter account, our Indian ex-Muslim subreddit, and Instagram account.
Very
And
good. And how is the responses from other ex-Muslims, and which tactic you have, or I mean that do you meet the people who want to meet with you, like with somebody says they are ex-Muslims and they want to meet and talk with you? What are you doing then? Do you meet
so
them, or because
no,
it is
so
dangerous, I believe, sometimes.
we don't meet people just off the internet. If there are ex-Muslims who want to connect with other ex-Muslims, we do a thorough verification of them, and we add them to our group. And we haven't had a meetup since the pandemic anyway. But like once there is trust established, only then we meet other people in like a group of people. That's the only way we meet other people. Otherwise, we don't.
Because I always remember a case which I think it was either in India or Sri Lanka. There was an ex-Muslim, and he have been killed by his friend who acted
That is
like
the
he.
one we actually talked about a while back, the Tamil Nadu atheist,
Tamil Nadu, right, right.
Ex-Farooq. He's the person who was killed by his friend who pretended to be an ex-Muslim.
Hmm. Oh, this, yeah. So you have to be careful, guys. And
Definitely.
and you are back, Doakin. You had some
Yeah,
problems.
yeah. Sorry for the interruption.
So I was telling them about how mob lynching is a real possibility for ex-Muslims also, especially from the area that you're from.
Yes, yes, it's a real possibility because in India this has come, mob lynching has come, kind of a trend. So if you go back into the Twitter history of Indian news, you'll find every month or two there is a case of mob lynching for some reason or the other. Either they catch you and the Hindu mobs catch you for some reason, and they make you chant Jai Shri Ram, and that you have to do this. But it's not like even like only the Hindus are doing it. Even the Muslims, if they are in a large group and they catch you, so then you have to do what they say. So it's just the power of numbers. So if in between somewhere some ex-Muslim or some atheist is caught, so I don't know what will happen, because one or two cases have happened like that, where some non-religious person was caught in the crossfire, but he had to pretend just whatever those people were saying to escape for his life.
Right. But is
Yeah.
it atheism? Is it a problem not only in Muslim communities but in Hindu community too? Or because I have no knowledge about India, but like it is not a normal thing to be an atheist in India, or is it?
Yeah. So
There are some people who call themselves Hindu atheists, and they say that Hinduism is not a really religion; it's a way of life. I don't know what they mean by that, but yes, it must be some kind of logic they have. But the main problem is you are they accept you as an atheist as long as you don't say anything about their religion or their belief. They have some kind of belief. You say anything against it, they will be triggered. You can see in the case of Armin Nawabi.
Yes, yes.
As well
But you are
as
talking about Hindus, not the Muslims, right? Because yeah, yeah,
your Muslims are, you don't believe in Islam, they will get triggered. There's very little you can do to trigger them, you know.
yeah.
But
Only your existence is enough to trigger them,
Yeah.
yes,
right?
yes. The
Uh,
little teaspoon of patience they have, and you know, just you come and you flick a finger, they will be triggered. But yeah, Muslim Hindus, they used to have a wide pool of patience, but now it's, you know, shrinking in India.
I would also say that India is more about cultural people, non-religious people, or people who would celebrate all religions, all festivals. That was the kind of dipping into the idea that India is unity in diversity, and all that is there, and you can be whatever you want, Hindu, Muslim, but that is at a just a namesake identity, and then you do whatever you want. There are plenty of people like that. It becomes an issue when you say that you're an atheist or a rationalist, and then you start criticizing all those cultures and customs that Indians have held very dear to them. So that is when a lot of atheists have been killed in India, or over the in this last one decade, even less than decade, like 5 years or so. A lot of atheists and nationalists have been killed, both by Hindus, Muslims, and Christians. So
Yeah.
Right, right. Uh,
Yeah,
you're
so I have shared a headline, you know, related to our discussion. So this guy, this Rajveer Upadhyay, you and one more guy like this, these two people were in the news recently because, you know, wanted to change their name and remove the religion thing out of their name.
yeah, the surname.
Yeah,
and
so
what is this all 1555677? What is
changing their name to phone numbers.
it is tragic comic, I'm sorry, I'm laughing because what is that?
Yes,
yes,
it's
yes.
kind of interesting.
The thing to make
One
their
more guy was there. His name was Vikas, so he changed his name to Vikas the Atheist. Because, you know, one thing in India you don't realize, people from the West, they do not know that India is a home to multiple of the problem of religion. But the one more problem which India faces is the problem of caste. You know, and the caste problem is a very derogatory kind of problem, and sometimes I feel sad to be in a country which has this system of caste, you know. So it's the caste system is something that defines what you are going to do by the nature of your birth, from what community you are. So if you
Right.
are from the
It's,
and
it's
community of washermen, then you have to become a washerman. You can't, you know, become anything else. So this same person was from some community of carpenters. So he wanted to change his caste by saying that I'm an atheist. I do not believe in religion. Yeah, the Ravi atheist. So yeah, Harris Sultan has, you know,
so
pointed
it's
his name out.
practically a religious like classicism. If
Yes,
you
it's
are
yeah,
born
it is,
within
yeah.
a range of salary, you are not allowed to get
It's
an
not just
education that
salary,
will give you more money.
Yeah, so it's not just salary, because there are like lower caste Dalits who are very rich, but they will
yeah.
also face the same casteism. It's more about spiritual forces.
I'll give you a shocking example. So you remember there was this huge, ceremony of this Ram temple. The this thing.
So
There
Ayodhya
was
temple.
a Yeah. So
Yeah,
there
right.
was an
Yeah.
inauguration which was held. The prime minister came. The chief minister of Uttar Pradesh, he came there. You know all, but the president of India did not come to that ceremony. You will realize why did that happen, because just because he was from the lower caste, he was not allowed to sit with people from the upper caste.
Yeah.
Even he was the president of India, then also he was not allowed to come there. Imagine that.
Yeah, so more about caste. So caste is kind of it is a hierarchical differentiation where it isn't just about class as he's mentioned. It is you have a status, you have a caste status by your birth, and originally it was by your occupation. Suppose your father was a washerman, you will be a washerman, and that's all you're going to do. In the
Hmm.
modern world, you don't have to be a washerman, but you will have that status. Even if you're doing anything else, you will always be seen as the washerman. And there is this purity concept where, the Brahmins are pure people, and everybody below them have a certain level of impurity. So that is how they reinforce that, okay, you are impure, so you can't interact with me.
Hmm.
That is how
Like
it works.
In the in the
royalty and
yeah.
peasants and that kind of division. That doesn't go away if you
Yeah,
change
it
your
doesn't go away. Yeah.
yeah, even if
And
you
it is
change your
surprised to
profession,
know,
you will
yeah, it
be
doesn't.
And
You'd
sometimes
be surprised to know that even
sometimes
Muslims are caste here.
yeah, Vijay, one sad thing is long time ago when the Muslim religion came to India, so people from Indian community, the some of the people they turned to Islam because they thought that Islam is universal and it will when we convert to Islam we will escape our caste. So many people turn towards Islam, but Islam also has caste in India. That's the sad part.
So Muslims
Can you talk about this a bit about that, because this I haven't heard before. You say Muslims are became a caste, or what did you say?
no, Muslims have
There
caste
is
within them. Like
yeah,
so
there
there
is a
is
caste
an
system
upper
in
caste
Muslims also.
system. Yeah,
One more
there is
time,
there,
a
please.
there is
system,
caste
lower caste
system.
system.
There is caste system in Pakistan and Bangladesh. And
Yeah,
if
so
there are Muslims that leave Pakistan and come, for instance, my family, they have a caste system. They don't marry outside of the caste
yes,
system.
yes,
If
yes.
they can help it, they don't marry outside of the closest
That
family.
is, yeah,
Yeah.
they reinforce caste with the endogamy.
Yeah.
Right. And I think you guys have more difficulties than us, of course, because in India, like if you live in an Islamic country, you have the Muslims, like conservative Muslims and extremists against you. But like
Yeah,
you said, you guys in India, you have two different sides. One, the
yeah,
Muslim community, where you have to act like you are a Muslim every day, and cannot express yourself who you are and what you think about your religion. And the other side, you have the Hindutva and these extremist Hindus. So it
Yeah.
is really
yeah.
sad to hear, because I'm first time talking with some Indian ex-Muslims, and really. But I also wonder, uh, how is the blasphemy laws in India, when we are talking about, if somebody make one caricature of Muhammad, for example, how is the law of India? Is it?
So the law doesn't like it doesn't say that if you blaspheme you're going to be killed or you get a life sentence. It's more mild. Like you have to go to, like, if you are convicted of blasphemer, you go to jail for like 2 to 3 years, and you have to pay a certain fine for hurting religious sentiments. But it isn't very dangerous, though it is still violent because you are losing a couple of years from your life.
Right, right.
Yeah, I
And
think
this applies to any religion or just
any
Islam?
religion. So the interesting story is this began by in the British times by Muslims who got offended with, I think the book was Rangila Rasool, written by someone wrote this book called Rangila Rasool, and they got offended. And so this blasphemy law was requested by Indian Muslims to the Britishers that we want a law like this, and it was added to our penal code, and it was never removed. That's how it was.
So it's because of Islam that there are blasphemy laws.
Yeah.
Yes, I have shared a screen with you. So this was five students, who were booked for a blasphemous Facebook post. This was a Muslim university.
Oh, when it was happened? Because this link.
Couple of years ago.
Couple of years ago.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
and if I change the tab, I'll show you. Uh, what more? This thing. This is very recent. This has happened.
A
You
couple of
know,
weeks ago, actually.
couple of months ago. This professor, he made a post on Ram and PM Modi. So his student filed a complaint against him, and now he's facing jail.
right. Oh
It
my
was
God!
a
It's never ends. This all religions are really. I have never seen any religion is tolerant with everything. Some religions, of course, are more tolerant, and the other, but in the end, they claim that they are right. They
yes.
are the
Yeah.
right religion. They cannot be tolerated. It's not impossible. It's impossible because when they say that they are the right one, it is enough. This shows that they are not tolerant in somehow. But is there any ex-Muslims like famous like people or somebody on living in Indian community, but they are ex-Muslim and they express themselves like they are not Muslim anymore? Because
I
is
guess
there some
Javed
people
Akhtar
in
comes to
India,
my mind.
known person, like,
Yeah, Javed Akhtar comes to my mind.
and a lot of people living in India? We are talking about many hundreds, uh, thousands or millions. Or how, I don't know how many people living in India right now, but say, you can just come with one name, maybe.
Yeah,
This
I
is
guess.
this is tragedy. This is the same in Turkey too, even
Yeah.
the moderate countries. Because this is
Mm.
not normal. This is what we are talking about here. That in 2020, it is not normal that somebody can freely stand out like I'm not Muslim anymore, and I don't like Islam, and Islam is bad. These things even so a few person can say even in a non-Muslim country,
If
and
someone, if someone in India does this, he will immediately become the pawn for all kind of politics which Indian leaders will play. So Indians, first of all, they fear for their life. Okay, then they fear for their community, then they fear that I won't be used as a tool of politics. So that is the hierarchy which we have to see to really declare ourselves
right, right.
as an apostate. Yeah.
But back to a little bit, I like to talk about.
I just want to say this that I am shocked by the pressure you're in. I
Yeah.
mean, I lived in Pakistan for 7 years, almost 7 years, when I was a teenager, and we were mostly just my bedroom windows opened up into the living room, like a courtyard sort of thing. We were isolated from the outside world. But right now, when I'm listening to you, the pressure from every side that you're under, it just it's
It's
heavy.
frustrating. It is frustrating.
I,
And
I, um, I you guys have got to stay safe.
But,
Uh,
but
please stay safe.
for
Um,
example, what are you doing, Doakin? What are you doing, for example, in the Ramadan fasting month? Because you are still living in the Muslim community, right? Not in the
Yes, yes.
or how's going the fasting month when is
So,
Ramadan?
what happens is we keep a stash of food, hidden somewhere. So, it's like when you go camping, you take a
Yeah.
bag, you stuff eatables in that. So, we do that kind of a thing.
Eh,
We stuff
eh,
things that we can, just take out and, eat quickly, like protein bars and stuff.
Crazy. It's really, really crazy.
Yeah.
And
So,
this happening in India. This. And but back to the theology a little bit. I'm very interested, because your background, you are you are a Shia, right? Or
Yes, yes, a Shia
yeah,
Muslim.
Shia Muslim, and you are a devout Muslim. You believe it everything when you was around 18, 19 years old.
Yeah, yeah. Before 1819, I really used to believe in everything, and like Shia Islam is more of a more radical way of Islam than the normal ones. And just like yeah, this thing, the month of Ramadan, you also have to face the month of Muharram. So even that's there, it has its own kind of stupid things which people follow. So self-flagelling, and you are, as a kid, you are encouraged to do that. So if some kid is disgusted by that idea, he's considered a coward. So that kind of things are also there, and they really turn you down.
Right, right.
So
But when you started doubt when you was young,
yeah,
can you, if you think back now, right now,
yeah,
and what, for example, which things most shocked you when you read it, or you said, "Oh my God, this cannot be from God, or
yeah.
this cannot be a good
So
prophet," or
one of one of the funny incidents is the same day. This thing, the one of the I had went to the mosque, and one of the Maulvis, he did an explanation of how the universe was created by God in 6 days and all. So that kind of a story he told, that God created the world, and Adam and Eve, they were put on separate mountains, and all kind of bullshittery he told me. The very next day I went, and we started our this thing, chapter on evolution, and I was like, what the hell is this? How can this happen? Like, how, like, there are some creatures who, like, there are some animals who have undergone years and years of evolution, and suddenly these two people come in. What is this?
you know.
So yeah,
Yep. This is like, when I sometimes I really cannot believe, because I was one of these believers before, and when I was young, when I heard Adam and Eve,
yeah,
and of course, yeah, I asked myself and I asked my family that, okay, then how they became more people? Do their children get married? They said yeah, but like, it was like incest, was like, it was okay, yeah, because it have to, just for that time. But it
yeah,
is crazy that why we are not reacting more than that, just say, oh yeah, oh okay. So a lot of like this thing, like we are ignoring, like when we were Muslim, um, we are seeing the thing is not right, but we are not doing with that anything. We just, okay, oh yeah, okay, and put it back and
yeah.
continue.
And one more thing that happened was, like, in my life, whenever I have sat down with religious scholars, it's just because of my exposure as a Shia Muslim, and belonging to the family of the Imam and all. I have went to places like Saudi and Iran, Iraq, and I have met with the ayatollahs, who are considered the head of religion. So I
Wow.
went to even to them. I went and asked some kind of scientific questions, that, do you think the God is like a collective conscience of all humans, or is it something else? So even if this simple innocent type of science question I ask them, they have no answer.
Yeah.
If I ask something, like one of my brothers asked me that, can we eat food made by hands of Hindu people, or he was ready with a whole explanation of I think he talked for like 6 to 10 minutes non-stop on that. And
It
to
is a
my
common
question,
thing. Yeah. It's a
yes,
common thing between the mullahs. They love to answer the stupid questions.
exactly.
But when you ask them real question, then they don't answer. And Hina, have you some memories like or some special things?
Yeah, just now I just remembered that I was told when I was very young that Hindus are napak, like they're not clean people, and so I need to like maintain my distance from them because when they're not clean, even I won't be clean and things like that. And I grew up with that belief, and I used to think that okay, Hindus are like dirty people, they're not clean people. And then I went to university. That was my first time living in hostel, and like that belief just shattered because I saw people who are like very hygienic, very hygienic, and like I was like shit, how could I believe something like that? And that is just one incident. There are so many more incidents like that where we were brainwashed to do something. There was just also one time where I used to believe that Hitler did the right thing by killing the Jews because Jews are our mortal enemy. I didn't know why. I just knew that they are. And we had
I
this,
have heard that too.
yeah, we had this conspiracy theories that Jews are trying to take over the world, and they have saved Einstein's brain, and they're trying to work on a technology to bring back people from death. So when the Dajjal comes, Jews will have their own army to fight, with Dajjal and against Jesus Christ. Christ is going to come back. So all of those things, I can't believe I believed in all of that ridiculousness. But
Yeah,
yeah,
a lot of
those
stories
are
like a lot of like Dajjal. You mentioned it. A lot of like sorry, but it's stupid stories. Even now, our kids, we are heard, we have heard in all our life. But when I was shocked after when I asked one imam when I was young, I asked imam about the sixth pillar of Islam, not Islam, but the faith, iman. The six we have six pillar of iman. I don't know in Shia Muslim have or not, but in Sunni Turkey we have five pillar of Islam and six pillar of iman, and the sixth pillar
Iman
is
doesn't it mean faith?
faith. Yes, faith.
Yes.
And a sixth pillar of iman is to believing kader şebne, the destiny. Have you this one? The
No,
same?
I've never heard of
I
that.
don't think we've come across a sixth pillar of Iman.
Yeah,
You
I've
six
I've never, I've not heard of that.
because you are Shia. You are Shia.
No, no,
This.
I was thinking I haven't heard either.
Oh, in Turkey, of course, in Turkey, everyone know that sixth pillar of iman is the believing the destiny, which made it by God, and God knows everything about that. And this was the like Achilles point for me in apostasy because uh, I just saw many unjust things around my mother's life and other women's life, and when I asked one imam about why my mother have to suffer or people have to suffer when they are good Muslims, and why just if God know everything, if Allah know everything, why we are playing a theater play? Like can he just stop everything and so we can uh, he can take the someone to hell and someone to heaven as he wish? Imam said he have no answer to that about the qadar because this knowledge we people don't have. Allah have the kulli irada and we have juz'i irada, and so if you digging a lot about this topic, you can fall from Islam. And in this time, I get shocked and I thought maybe he don't know answer, so he's not answering me. But later I learned that this is the answer about this question in Islamic theology. Answer is that we cannot know everything, and Allah know best about this point. Because you have heard, I'm sure, Mutazilit movement in Basra in 10th century. And this movement had the same question about the knowledge of Allah. Do he know what I will say about 5 minutes or 1 second later what I will do or not? And Muslims believe Allah know everything, everything, absolute. So this is this was special for me because I believe in that time when I heard this that they have no answer, something's happened in my mind. I lost almost my half of my religion because they have no answer to the most important question for me. Right.
It's kind of a
It's, uh,
paradox, you know.
there are two things here. First of all, I was thinking about this thing. It's very common and almost like very close to heart when you are in a major Muslim community that the infidels are dirty and impure. And if they touch something of yours, you have to wash it and you have to pray to get that filth out of it. But when you say that in Norway, for example, Norwegians call you racist and the Muslims call you Islamophobe. So when you can't prove it, you don't get any credibility for telling it because they say no, it's just written in the books and it's not practiced and it's not a belief system. While that's how they always are when Christians, for example, are in minority, then they are treated really bad. But when Islam comes to the Western countries, it's constantly talking about being suppressed and being oppressed, not getting the same rights that others are, and trying to uh, g- give rise to blasphemy laws over here. So, and the other thing was that this is Zishan Sheikh Mohammed. He says almost all of the Muslim celebrities in India are namesake Muslims. They don't announce themselves as ex-Muslims because they would end up offending a huge part of his audience.
Yeah, so like I've
Here they,
already,
yeah,
yeah,
here they call themselves liberal Muslims, and they lie about Islam.
yeah.
Yeah, they lie about Islam being beautiful. They tell these stories about Islam in Bollywood movies too. It's like they have been reaching out an olive branch to Islam for over 70 years now, trying to make it sound nicer than it is. Always getting proven wrong by the real Muslims that turn into jihadi and show you what Muhammad really actually did. So this it's going around. It's going on everywhere that Muslims who are not familiar with what Islam really is lie about it and keep repeating the lies.
So there is one thing that I have noticed, and probably this is something that I'm still working on. Is that it's not that Muslims are lying about their religion, but that is what they believe in. That is they actually believe that that religion is beautiful. Islam is beautiful and peaceful, and it's the ultimate truth. They actually believe it. It's not. I believed in it. I was a Muslim at one point, and I can tell you, I debated with people who spoke against Islam. I was actually very hurt when Charlie Hebdo incident happened. I didn't support the killings, but I was hurt that a magazine would, like, be so insensitive and offensive. So, I think, it's not that everyone here. I would definitely say the Maulanas and the clerics and all these people who have read Quran, and then they go on and say that there is Islam is peaceful and there is no violence in religion and this and that. That is lies. I'm not going to defend them. But normal Muslims, at least in India, we don't know Arabic. We don't study Arabic, but we are taught to read the whole Quran without knowing what Quran is about.
Yes.
I finished my Quran when I was 11 years old, and I called myself a Muslim, and I didn't know what it was about until I read it in English. And I read it in English, and I read it critically. And honestly, when I read it, it was like so much bullshit, and so much brainwashing power inside the book, because the sentences keep repeating, so subconsciously you're going to pick up the sentence and it's going to be in your head. So it is a dangerous book that way. And I don't think that lying is the correct word to use against people who believe in it. And then there is also the other aspect of people who are trying to reform Islam with the progressive Muslims that have come around and who are kind of gaining some sort of space in the West. And I think they are the honestly they are the only ones who can probably bring some
You
change in
Yeah, you
positive.
misunderstand me. It's just that I learned things about Muhammad in school in Pakistan that were beautiful. The books made him sound like Jesus, but
Same,
he wasn't.
the
In the
same
Quran,
experience.
he's not like Jesus. In the Hadith, he's not like Jesus. But in the
That is
story,
what the people,
yeah,
so the people who are, like the clerics, the Maulanas, the people who are supposed to be guiding us, they are the ones who are omitting facts, who are, like erasing all the bad things from Quran and presenting Islam as something that, okay, this is very beautiful and this is the most peaceful religion. But
yeah.
this is what people who have power, people who have a voice and agency, it is these people who are doing this. But normal Muslims, they're just gonna believe the authority, right?
Yeah, you tell normal Muslims that Islam is not a peaceful religion, and you can read from the Quran and you can read from the Hadith, and they will say, "How can you say that? Look at all this poetry written by a Muslim poet. It is so romantic and it is so
I have
good."
been on both sides of the
They don't
spectrum.
even, yeah, and the poetry is actually infected by the Western values that the British brought in there, so people just keep trying to make it seem like Islam itself has been very liberal, while all the liberal movements within the Muslim communities were actually Western values. They didn't have anything to do with the Quran or the Hadith. But imagine that you are not allowed at all to use the brain capacity of a free will ever. I mean, I'm actually kind of speaking to Norwegian people. So many Norwegian people, they are so scared of being called racist. They cannot imagine what it is like for you sitting in it's sitting there with masks just because you have a reflection in your brains, because you can understand things more than just being slaves to what you've been ordered to do.
Yeah,
Here, Muslims want blasphemy laws. The mosques want blasphemy laws. And so many Norwegians say, if we don't give them what they want, then we are racist. You just want.
I truly hope
see,
Norway
I
gets
can
some laws.
one thing I can convey to the Norwegian people through a live example is there is an actress in India right now by the name of Riya Chakraborty. Okay, so once upon a time, some few years back, when when Modi government came to power, she was very supportive of the government, and she used to say yes, whatever they are doing is right, and whatever this thing government was doing, she was okay with it. Now today, the same government, the same media which she was supporting has put her on a cross, and the witch hunt has started. So you can really read the case about her, and you can see that this is when you give power to someone, and you give your support to someone who thinks like who puts religion and their own thinking ahead of you. It hits you in the end, not somebody else. The people, the very Muslims who were this thing supporting for blasphemy laws and everything, like who were being extremists. They were the ones whose houses were burned during the Delhi riots, just in February. So it's not like you can escape by saying that you impose blasphemy laws. You will be the one who will be affected. You are
Yeah.
giving your freedom into the hands of fanatics. You are responsible for that.
The biggest problem in Islam is ignorance. Or
Yeah.
to be ignorant. You know, the majority of Muslim people, uh, are not practicing, really not practicing Muslims, and they are defending Islam. This is the problem, and they have no knowledge about anything. I say this, yes, I say, because my experiences in all my life, from Turkey to Norway, whoever I met Muslims and talked about and discussed about Islam, and I realized that they have never read the Quran. They learn Islam through hearing from their mother, hearing from their father or teacher or whoever. This is the biggest problem. Yesterday night, I was on the way to home from another city, and I have to stop car to get some food from the benzene station, fuel station,
Yes.
and it was 1 o'clock in the night, and suddenly three young Muslim guys stopped me and say to me, "Hi, did you have been on TV some days ago in a debate?" And I said, "Yes, it was me." Then we start to talk. They were from Afghanistan, one of them. The other two, I don't know. But all of them were Muslim, and they defended Islam. And they say to me, they were respectful, and they were not wild or anything. It was good. But suddenly they say, but my brother, Islam is peace. Muslims are bad. These things they are doing, like ISIS, like Saudi Arabia, this is the people and politics, and like they blame to the people. And when I say to them, but your Quran and your Prophet legitimating all out of this so-called extremists, and he live it like this extremists we are seeing today. And then they say, no, you have no right. I say, hey, show me. And then they expose themselves that no, they haven't read the Quran. They read it only in Arabic. This is the biggest problem.
The people you're talking about, like we in India, we have a term for them. We call them graduates of WhatsApp University.
One more time, please. One more time, what you said.
We call them graduates from WhatsApp University.
Right.
They get their information from WhatsApp forwards.
Yes, and they are defending, and it was unbelievable. One of them said, "But why you are against hijab, my brother? These women want to use hijab, and they are free will, and they are good thing." You know what? One of them said, "Think if one girl go now with little clothes, then maybe some rapist will rape her. Don't you think it's better she cover?" I said, "I cannot believe you say this to me. Why she have to cover yourself because you are a bad man? You will do something to her. You have to be a good man." And I said to him, now is 1 o'clock in the night, and you three guys is in the outside, and you are in the city. I don't know what are you doing. Where is your sister? Where is your mother? Do you think they can just go, can have the same freedom like you have? Just go out in the night, go to one benzene station and buy one drink, or go outside. Oh, they don't want. They don't want. They want to live in the house. They say, this is so stupid, and in the same time, like they can, because they go to one defense modus. In anything what you say. In anything which oppression in Islam against all the oppression against women and inequality in Islam between men and women and other sexualities, they don't see that, and they go automatically defending modus, and they say that Islam is peace, Allah is the real God, Quran is perfect, Muhammad is perfect, everything we are seeing in the world, what Muslims are doing bad things, this is because of they are bad people. It's nothing to do with Islam. And this is really, I cannot believe that this is everywhere. And so I say, of course, the majority of Muslims are not bad people in the sense of that they are not following their religion truly. And they are the candidates of ex-Muslims, actually. And they are ex-Muslims, but they don't know, but they have to defend it. This is the special thing with Islam.
Yeah. See, and one more thing is the people from Islam, they don't realize is that in nature everything is changing. Change is the one constant in life that is a truth that you have to realize. And now people like from religion, they are stuck from with the values they had like thousands of years ago. Take Islam, you say that it is 1400 years old. From 1400 years you are following the same damn traditions, and you are not changing yourself now. Like the people, the things that they do not change themselves, what happens in nature, they will go extinct. One day you will go extinct, just because you did not change your values. For us, for your society to uh, you know for your society to move ahead in life, it needs to change. For in the example in India, this is the biggest example. All of the Muslims in India, they think they are living in the golden age of the Mughals, where the Muslims were ruling the whole subcontinent, and they stopped educating themselves. They stopped looking for good career opportunities, and what happened was the whole community went into decline, and now they are like third class citizens right now.
Hmm.
So
I
Uh,
you're if you don't change your this thing views, you don't change your, you don't modify your traditions, you don't move forward as a society, you are doomed to fall.
I would
hmm.
also add that we do have a sort of systemic oppression against Muslims, at least in India. Like since the partition, being the largest minority, there has been a sort of segregation. Muslims don't get apartments and housing easily. They are also, there is a certain Muslim phobia that also acts as. So, apart from Muslims being very religious, conservative, traditional, and uneducated in a way, they are also facing this kind of oppression. So, you can't just solely say that if they were educated, they would have a better life, they would be more progressive. It's a vicious cycle, I would say, in a way. And the other thing I would want to say is that we really need to, like especially to the Norwegian people who think that, going against Islam is racist, that we really need to differentiate going against Islam from going against Muslims. You can still be with Muslims, you can still support Muslims while criticizing Islam, and that is more important. Islam is an ideology. It's not a person. It doesn't have human rights. It's an ideology. It's there for you to critique. The issue becomes when you start critiquing Muslims.
Hmm. It was happened in Norway some days ago in the debate on TV. Even one young North Pakistani Muslim, Norwegian Pakistani Muslim guy said that he wants that Norway have to ban the burning of Quran. If somebody burn Quran, they have to get arrested by police.
Yeah, make it
He wants blasphemy laws in Norway. So they don't understand, the biggest problem in Islam, that the lack of freedom of speech. It means the blasphemy laws. If in the every Muslim country, if we have the freedom of speech, Islam will be finished. If people feel themselves safe to say whatever they want to say, whatever they want to write book, or making movie, or give an information about the Islamic history, Quran and hadiths, I think people will wake up. But this is the biggest problem. This is stopping the lack of freedom of speech is the biggest problem. And now many Muslims, religious Muslims, trying to implement the blasphemy laws, light blasphemy laws, in the West. They cannot kill us. They cannot kill the blasphemer legally. And then they're trying their best and making lobbies, and have connections with politicians, and even they are in the politic in many countries in the West, and they are trying to implement some kind of blasphemy laws. It's not name is not blasphemy laws, but they want to censor the speeches and social medias, and it's going right now. It's every. Uh, I think Christopher Hitchens said it in 2011, or before he died, or 10, I don't remember right now, but he said that blasphemy law is coming. while you have time, speak out your mind, because it
It
is coming.
reminds me. It reminds me of a novel by Bradbury in 1953. It's called Fahrenheit 451. You guys should read that. All
But,
the people, and you should recommend it to people who are really lobbying for
can you repeat the name again? Book name?
Fahrenheit 451.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a dystopian novel which shows that in the future all the books are burned. You cannot read books, and whatever the media shows you is the truth. So that kind of a world people want to live in. So if you read that book, you will realize that the predictions he did in 1953 are really coming to pass.
Hmm. I hope not. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
Uh,
we use Orwell very often as an example, who has written a few novels that sort of describe what's going on right now with the media changing the past in order to control the future.
yeah. And one more,
There,
one
the,
more
the,
this example is you must have read that Animal Farm.
yeah,
yes, I have read
yeah.
it. I have read it. It is beautiful,
Uh,
and you can see the situation of animals farm in many countries actually.
yeah, especially in India, it's Animal Farm right now.
Yeah, but here as well, it is like Islam is just like every other culture, but a little more. Every other religion, but wants a little bit more. It doesn't want to be treated like anything else in the criticism, but wants to have all the good stuff. Wants to be honored as much as any other faith or any other respect, but doesn't want to be criticized, while they call themselves moderate Muslims and secular Muslims. And what they really are asking for is the creation of Islam like it's in Saudi Arabia. Here, when Muslims came to Norway in the early 70s, they were really actually secular. They were not very religious. Our government has been giving a lot of money to make mosque after mosque after mosque after mosque. Then they go there
I
and
saw
they learn
I
about
saw one of
Arabic.
the I saw one of the ads of your people in Norway trying to build a mosque. Even Zaki Naik was promoting, so I reported that link as spam. Yeah,
Yeah.
and his scam asking for money.
They are promising a villa in heaven. They're saying, "Give us money to make a Dava center in Oslo, and you will get a key to the palace
Yeah,
in the
and
heaven."
it's a
Yes.
really catchy ad. So there's some mullah guy. He throws a stone at your phone and the screen breaks. And like, I'm sorry for breaking your screen. I wanted to get your attention. What is this kind of way of getting attention when you're breaking my phone screen? And then you're saying, "Give me money." This is a really strange way
I,
of
it, it, I cannot believe that it's even true that how people can say to someone that uh, give money, you will get a better house in afterlife. We are living in 2020, not in the desert of Arabia in the 6th century, that somebody will say, "Hey guy, do that, you will get a house when after you die." you
Mm,
know
The trouble here becomes this, that when people go to the mosque, they still don't read the Quran, they still don't read the Hadith, they just do everything they are told to do by the imams who have selected the things that will benefit Islam and only Islam, not the people, just
yeah,
Islam.
yeah.
And the imam has selected the things that are ordered from the headquarters of Islam, from Saudi Arabia or Iran. So, and our government, they think they are being so liberal and taking care of equality, while they are feeding extremism into Muslims that were actually secular when they first arrived. And now their third generation is more extreme than the first generation was.
Yes.
Yeah.
And by the way, I have to say hi to Council of Ex-Muslims of Iraq. this is a new organization too, or new movement on social media, and I hope we will have them on air in maybe in the next episode maybe. Uh, but how you think? How you think the future of because when two intolerant religion or living together, and if things are escalating, and what is the future of Islam in India? Have you some ideas or thoughts about? Because I don't really know how they are living. They are living separately, mostly, or it is just every people
See,
everywhere.
what happens is, like, I'll give you an example. One of my friends, he went to, rent a house uh, in city called Mumbai. You must have heard of Bombay. It's a very, it's a house of Bollywood. It's a very progressive city. So he went to, rent a house somewhere in Mumbai, and he went into the locality. People liked him. Everything happened, and just when they asked for the advance for the house, and he transferred the money, his name came on his mobile, on their mobile. They saw he had a Muslim name. They said, we cannot give you the house. I was like, dude, what? You just agreed to give me the house, and they were looking here and there, so an earthquake would appear, and they would not have to say. But they outrightly said that we do not give house to Muslim people. You know, so he was like, but I am a atheist. So I, no, your name is Muslim, that is why we will not give you. So Muslims are right now living in separate communities, and which are neglected by the government. So there are
Madness.
many examples of communities in which people are living that are third class this thing areas to live. So all the Muslims are clustered there, because they are only the Muslim community will accept them, and the government don't really cares about those communities, and the civic communities are next to useless there. Even as me as a Muslim, I prefer to live in an area which is not uh, Muslim dominated, just because I know civic authorities, civic amenities like good roads, good water, good electricity won't be given to me there.
Right. It is madness.
Absolutely.
Madness.
Like there is also a kind of shift, like you said, that the third generation Muslims are more radical. That is also seen here. My own family has become more Islamic over the years. There is a certain Arabization that's happening, and I feel it's happening to a lot of Muslim communities, where Muslims are going back to Islam from the secular lifestyle they were living before. So I don't think there is any, scope for Islam to dilute down anytime soon. There is definitely a scope for a mass genocide that might happen to Muslims.
Yeah.
I believe that in any case, I believe Islam is dying because of the technology and information age we are living in. But this means not that everything will be fine in some year. It will take time. It will be bloody, because I don't need to be Nostradamus or some medium to tell that. But it is clear that if people are not became if they are not became less religious, if it's continue in different places, it will escalate, and it will be wars, and it will be like not peace. And this is in everywhere, so we have to try to make people we have to try to wake people up, and try to make them less religious, or actually out of the religion, because religion is poisons everything, really, everything. I believe that.
The best thing we can do is to tell them about Islam, show them the hadiths, show them what's written in the Quran, show them the contradictions and the impossibilities, because people who really understand what's written and what is asked of them, they either leave Islam or they become more conservative and more hateful. but enlightenment, even if it is punishable by death in Islam, it can't be stopped in this age when we can communicate across the continents like this. Uh, I'm sure that Islam is going to get destroyed by information about itself. It's kind of funny.
And this is happening. Actually, this is happening right now. You know, everywhere in the Arabia and the other South Asia or the Middle East, there are a lot of young people seeing the truth that they have been cheated by a lie. Their family have been cheated by a lie, and they, but a lot of them, of course, don't care, and they are living their life as non-believer, but acting like Muslim. But many of them on the social media, we are seeing that really with fake IDs, false IDs, and they are really writing a lot of things. They are getting knowledge. They are engaging in debates. So I believe really Islam will collapse. It will not take many years, but it will happen, and it is good for the Muslims really as people, because of they never accepting or seeing that Islam is the one of the reason behind all the suffering on all the backwardness in the Islamic world, or all the oppression which is doing against women and unbelievers and the homophily and LGBT people. So,
Yeah.
but in like you said, Ninrok, that either they became more radical or they left Islam. This is true, but mainly they don't become very radical. In my experience, that first they get very angry and they hate you. Yes, some of them even do some acts like extremist acts, but in the end, really, in the end, they are left in Islam. I was one of them. I hated all the critics of Islam, really. I wish they were dead. But today I'm thanking them so much. I'm so thankful to them. And this is not just an example like I'm alone. Many people have the same feelings and experiences, I believe.
There are also those who are just fundamentally more prone to become extremists, no matter what religion, because they are bullies. And extremism, religious extremism especially, can sort of give them the power to be assholes. There are those people who always will choose to be radical.
And they call us, they call, of course, ex-Muslims are haters or whatever they want to say in the West, especially too. In the Muslim world, they don't need to say they are haters or they are that or they just get them arrested or they're killing them or persecuting them. But in the West, especially, they calling names to who exposing Islam like us to be a hater. I don't care, we have to don't care that, because if you think back in the West, what happened to the Christianity, all the philosophers of the age of enlightenment, they were call it haters too.
And
Because,
what
because
the funny part is, the philosophers and the people from the actual thinkers and the innovators in the age of Renaissance, they came to the Arab world and they learned from theologians like Karim al-Jawad, and there are many Islamic philosophers. They learned good things from them. They went there and they you just demolish the dark ages, because Europe was into dark ages and scientific thinking had died. They came to the Islamic world, and at that time the Islamic world, they had really they were very advanced into theology and thinking, and
And
they
that's not
took
true.
ideas from there. And
That's one of no,
and
no, no, that's not true.
yeah, yeah,
That
and
it's the other way around. It's the
yeah,
other
they
way
went
around.
there. They went there, and European society advanced, And the Islamic world, they they crashed into the this thing dark ages, just as the Europe had done after advent of Christianity. So it's the same thing happened, and they crashed into the backward thinking. uh, I don't know
I
why
know
that happened.
a lot
Yeah,
of a lot of books lie about this, that the Islamic world was so philosophical and so scientific advanced, and it had this incredible equality going on between different faiths, and everyone was treated nicely, and it's not true. It doesn't
I,
make any sense.
I'm actually agree with Ninrok, but I don't need to talk about that so much. But gold. I can say but one thing: we can have a program about golden age. But
yeah.
I have read it a lot, and I see that.
No, it's not about the
Discovered-
equality or anything. I'm just
Yeah,
saying
yeah, I know, I know,
the
I know.
ideas are the ideas which which really advance the
But this is a
thinking of
hoax.
people. Yeah,
Same,
I
same.
can I can just say that, Dawkin, my friend, it is Islamic Golden Age is a hoax, a lie, and invented by firstly the Western Orientalists, like you said, you
okay,
mentioned it in this time,
yeah,
because when they fight it against Christianity, they had to bring some things like beautiful than Christianity. Even Voltaire, who hated Christianity, he glorifies it sometime Islam, because they look Islam like like one Orientalist, like something's like Thousand and One Night, with
yeah, okay,
harmony. And this come in this time actually. But when you look to the how much money Saudi Arabia and they are using to promote so-called golden age, this is just in the last 100 years maybe we have this golden age name. It is nothing their golden age. And in Andalusia, when you look to the all the philosophers both in Iraq and in Spain in this time, they are actually not Muslims. Avicenna,
hmm,
what is the English name of other Farabi, or all the others? Many of them have been persecuted, and their books were burned by Muslims.
yeah.
And El
Yeah,
Ghazali
yeah.
called them
So my
heretic.
point is,
Yeah.
my point is, the instead of prosecuting those philosophers, instead of killing them, burning their books, had they let them spread their ideas at that time, the Islam really would have limited itself there only. It would not have spread like that, or like an octopus everywhere. It would have been, if scientific thinking, the people of that area, from where Islam originated, they would have adopted it early on. It would have been helped not spreading this everywhere.
Yeah.
The,
Of course,
Yeah,
in the Muslim world, it's in the. Oh, sorry.
I'm gonna just uh, Islam has the recipe to conquest. They have the recipe to conquest, and they treat it like it's a holy. And they create their army, and they conquer. And at some point, sometimes they put their weapons down and start to enjoy everything they have robbed. All the riches they have stolen, all the land, they just stop and start to enjoy it. And then when they have forgotten how to fight, they start to enjoy the Western philosophy. They start to enjoy science. And then someone picks up Islam's books again and find out that, oh, we are supposed to kill them all. And then they start killing again. The trouble
yeah.
is it's written in their core recipes to be evil, to
Okay.
keep fighting and worship conquest and do it for Allah. And every
Yeah.
time when they have relaxed for a little bit, they have enjoyed it and they have become liberal. Uh, but the recipe, the Quran, Allah is always telling them to not do that. Allah
You
is
know,
always telling them to not do
other thing. So I said we have to maybe not talk about golden age so much because it's triggering me too. Because in the West, a lot of
Sorry, I don't mean
no,
to
no,
be.
maybe our friends don't know Hina and Joaquin, but in the West, a lot of apologists like talking about that today. Like Islamic Golden Age. It's have nothing to do with Islam, first of all. Also, it is
Yeah,
not. It is not right to call Islamic Golden Age. But yes, when Islam expanded to Persia, Spain, and Greek, of course, there are a lot of clever people were in the Muslim community too. It was not just barbarians. Some people became a philosopher. Some read it Aristotle and come with ideas, thinking. But this is when you look to their works, that they are infidel for the biggest scholars in Islam, like Ghazali calling them infidels, and some
yeah.
of them have
My
been
point
killed.
is,
Yeah,
my point is, the instead of prosecuting people like that and calling them infidels, you should really, promote those people, because they are, advancing your society, and you are killing, sidelining those kind of people, and then you are turning to people who really don't know anything.
absolutely.
That's my point.
Yeah.
What you should, take out from the, instead of saying that here golden age we used to do this, we use, yeah, it's a shame on you, dude,
Do
that
it now.
you had such kind. Yeah, it's a shame that if you say that golden age exists, it's a shame on your name, because you had such a high thinking society, and now look at yourself, what you have become.
Right.
That's
I'm
my,
agree. I'm totally
yeah,
agree.
that's my point which I'm trying to make.
A very
Yeah.
good point, and I agree. And a
Yeah,
lot of times, we have extremists everywhere, and there
But
are some
yeah,
who reject you even if you're an ex-Muslim, because they say that you might just be trying to infiltrate by gaining more sympathy than other Muslims. There are all sorts of people around, and while
I will. I just want to say that I will
I don't
go. I will read some
know, I'm just
questions and put
gonna
them, and we
finish.
can answer
I
where we are
think
ending.
that
But before yes, yes.
I'm just gonna finish. I think it would have been very easy for me to sympathize with Muslims if I wasn't an ex-Muslim, if I didn't grow up with Islam, if I hadn't known the inside of what goes on in Muslim families. I would probably think that they are just like anybody else, and we should treat them the same, and we should uh, change our laws to kind of take care of their feelings and not be racist. I sometimes fear that I might have not been intelligent unless I was, unless I had seen it with my own eyes in a Muslim home. So
yeah, you're
yeah,
right.
a lot of people in Muslim homes are already ex-Muslims in closets.
Right. Now you remind me one another topic. In we have in Norway we have many Muslims from Pakistan, uh, and uh, and many of them are Ahmadiyya Muslims, and in the same time Sunni, and we have also Shia and Pervezi. Have you heard Pervezi Muslims, guys? No. It's
No.
like Ahmadiyya movement, but it is
Okay.
much smaller than Ahmadiyya even. When I look how they are defending Islam and teaching Islam to, or acting like they are the representative of Islam, especially the Ahmadiyya movement, and they are contributing to the school books and lying about Islam. Their interpretation they are giving only. When we have the majority Muslims are Sunni and Shia, the second one, but the Western countries getting information about Islam from them, from Ahmadiyya movement, for example, and putting this into the school books. When I go and read a little bit of the books, and I suddenly saw that a lot of lies. It's even starting lie with the Allah. They say that Allah is God. Only that Allah mean is God. They say to children. This make the children think that, oh, Muslim God and Christian God and Hindu God, everyone is the same God. The small children, and they even translating "Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah" as there is no God but God. Can you believe that? Do you see something's wrong here? There is no God but God. This is so stupid. Ilah is God. Allah is Allah. There is no translation to Allah. There is no God but Allah is the correct translation of the Shahada. Even not that only. About jihad, what is the jihad? And about many things I find out, I will work about that and do something. But what do you think about that? How is the Ahmadiyya movement actually in India? Uh, is there Ahmadiyya movement or only in Pakistan?
There definitely is. It started here, right? Ahmadiyya movement started in India. So there are Ahmadiyya communities, but uh, I don't think they have a very mainstream presence as much as they have their own very well built communities in pockets of India.
Okay, because they are persecuted in Pakistan, we know that
Yes, yes,
they have no even right to call themselves like
yes,
Muslims in many places, and they have no right to even enter to Mecca for pilgrimage. But
yeah,
it is a little bit crazy for me that in the West, like they are acting like they are the spokesperson for Islam, and of course they are much peaceful than many other movements in the Islamic world. But the problem is why we have to lie. We have to stop lying about Islam, and West is just very happy when they hear somebody sugarcoating Islam and say this is Islam and we are here. But this is not the way where we have to go. We have to go with telling the truth, especially to the
Yeah,
children. Without telling truth, we cannot achieve anything.
yeah,
Because we have been lied to. No, no, I didn't know that Muhammad was a murderer. I didn't know Muhammad raped woman. I didn't know Muhammad married even with a child when I was child. You understand me? What I'm
yes, yes,
saying?
yes.
Because this is a huge problem, and this have been like it have been like this many years in the West, especially.
Yeah, it's like main thing is the hypocrisy. You preach everyone that you should not lie, you should not do this, you should not do that. But when you really go into the history and you peek behind the curtain, you find all of that just waiting for you there. Oh, sorry, this was not meant for you to see.
I should look to the comments before the comments. Hina, and we can ask Hina first. Hina, what is your plan about future? About I know that your organization cannot be in the public and do some seminars or some things, and nobody expecting that. But have you what do you think the future of Islam in India, and what do you think of the future of your organization? Have you patience to continue and contributing to the enlightenment age in Islam?
yeah. So I don't think Islam is going to go anywhere anytime soon in India, at least. There are definitely a lot of Muslims who are namesake, who are cultural. That doesn't matter because the dominant voice that is there in India of Muslims is to the clerics, the ulemas, and they are radicalizing people, and it's a fact. So Islam is here to stay. That I've made peace with. And secondly, we aren't an organization yet. We haven't registered as one. We haven't organized ourselves as one. We are still an informal group. And in the future, the plan is that like when some of us come out, we will culminate into an organization and hopefully try to build a community for ex-Muslims. We aren't here to, uh, uh, I don't know, be an enemy to Islam as much as we want to create a space for ex-Muslims where they can feel safe and feel get the support that they really need and heal, possibly heal from the trauma that religion inflicts on ex-Muslims. That's the plan for now.
Mm. And have you something to say,
Yeah, because I am on the same lines, because you know what ex Muslims in India really need. See, as long as you don't say anything to the community, and you know you are living on your own independently, you are free to do anything. You can be an atheist in peace in India. So you know, helping other ex-Muslims achieve that goal is the thing. You know, like guiding them, helping them out, providing them a community to, you know, where they can express their views and all that. That's what we want to do, basically,
So
as
more
other
like a
ex-Muslim people.
more like a network and safe space to support each other
Yeah.
without being political.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's great.
And
Because the moment you go mainstream and you say that I have left Islam, and you know all the people from the opposite side will come to you, and you know they will be looking to somehow politicize that way. So
Yeah.
instead of, you know, really keeping it underground, and if you keep it underground and, you know, away from all this politics, then you can really control what you want from the community, instead
mm,
of, you know, making it public and going political. Yeah.
right, and I'm happy for that. We have Hina in our international coalition of ex-Muslim movement, and I will see her there, and I hope we will keep contact with you, Doakin, and
Yeah,
in the
sure.
future we will make programs. Now I want to look to the questions. One question is very funny. This one, which came first, religious intolerance or militant atheism? Do you know why I'm lying? Because laughing because. Uh, First we have to know what does atheism mean. Atheism mean is like the lack of belief of the claims of the religions. Actually, first have to these religions have to exist and they have to claim something without evidence, and then when I say no, I don't believe, because you have no evidence, then I'm atheist, and militant atheist is a new word just to who are activist atheists actually. So of course the religious intolerance come first. And do you have disagreement here?
I'm not even atheist, you know. The only thing I know is that I don't know, and even if I maybe can't know what really is true, I can tell what's a lie. That's very easy. So not all ex-Muslims are atheists, and not all atheists are as bad as some people want them to, seem. It's ridiculous. But
A good question, I
Someday
think.
in India, you know, people do are with such a mindset they don't even know what atheist is. You know, one of my friends, he told me that he went to his he was working in his organization, so he went to the organization, and someone called him out that, sir, he's an atheist. So his superior, you know, he said, atheist? Oh, I think they are a Christian group. Just because atheist is English, so he connected it with Christians.
But do you think how is this? Because I forgot to ask this. You know about when you're talking about atheism and when the blasphemy laws we are talking about in India. Is there any movement or political parties fighting against blasphemy laws, like want to remove or some things? Is there any
No,
existence of that?
No, I
no.
mean there
Religion
have
is the one thing. The religion is the one thing which, you know, give empowers all the political parties. If you really remove this thing, religion from India, I don't know where any of these parties will stand, because that's what their bread and butter is.
Yeah,
get votes on the basis of religion. So
I had got. Can you repeat again, please,
I
Hina?
just thought they get votes on the basis of religion. They're going to appease different religions and different communities, and that's how they win elections. So
Yes, and I'm sure that if they are express themselves like they are against blasphemy laws, they will lose all support from
Yes,
religious
yes,
communities.
yes.
Why don't these different sects try to convince each before talking to us? Right? I agree. Why they don't do that? Because
the funny thing is, yeah, the funny thing is that there have been jokes, but also people take it very seriously that okay, you can date a Hindu, but please don't date a Shia. Like that kind of animosity is there between sects here.
Right. And one say, please, can you tell us if big celebrities like Javed Akhtar is any help to young ex-Muslims or atheists of India?
So as far as I have seen, the prominent atheists or ex-Muslims there are in India, at least ex-Muslims, not atheists. They do stuff at an individual level. Like they use their platform to talk about religion and whatever is wrong with religion. But I haven't seen them really try to create a community or help out other ex-Muslims. There is
Uh,
definitely a lack of that movement.
right. But surely, if he's a known ex-Muslim, he's inspiring some people. I'm sure of that because only the existence of an
Yeah,
ex-Muslim,
probably. It might be more private than
yeah,
public.
inspiring,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like
It,
it's a good thing too.
it's a brilliant start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I when I left Islam and my family, I was alone for many years. I was alone for almost 15 years before I met Jamal. Um, Having a network is extremely important, and even if you are not going political, you're doing great for those people who need people who can understand them. It's great.
I hope you
Yeah.
can achieve something like that.
I hope you will grow. I'm sure you will. You're in numbers.
Yeah.
I'm sure you will.
Is there anything more? Do you want to talk about any topic? Because can't find any good questions. Hello, how is it going? Okay. Is there anything you want to say, Doakin or Hina, which you want to share with us before we are ending the program?
Um, I
Nothing.
guess,
Okay.
yeah,
Eh,
I think
No,
I
no.
would just,
That it's,
yeah, you were saying.
what's your message to believing Muslims who believe that Allah is the God, Muhammad is the last prophet, and Quran is the perfect book of Allah? Do you have some message to them?
Yes, so my message to believing Muslims who are probably watching this program or might watch is that for you, your truth might be Allah, your truth might be Muhammad, and I will respect your truth as long as you respect mine. That I don't believe in Allah, I don't believe in the Prophet, and I have as much as right as you to live peacefully and to talk about my beliefs like you talk about yours. So that is my
Fantastic.
message. I come in peace, just like you come in peace. I don't intend on fighting with you. I don't intend on diminishing your, I don't know, space or agency. All I want is respect, which is mutual from both sides.
Brilliant message. Fantastic. Really fantastic.
Yeah, and my message will be to all the Muslims who are, watching this, and the ex-Muslims who are watching this. So, don't believe in, fantasy. This thing, all, Allah is just like, dragons. He does not exist. And you can draw inspiration from this thing, Neil deGrasse Tyson's. Sorry, that was my cat. You can, his once he said on a live show that if you see the state of the world right now and you believe that a god exists, then there are only two conclusions: that the god is either not good or he does not exist, because this is the state of the world right now.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful program, and really, I'm so happy that you come here and share your thoughts and your experiences and your apostasy and all the information. I'm really grateful for that, and really, I appreciate a lot what are you
Yeah.
doing, guys, and for freedom, for to give free people freedom to believe or not believe, but living freely and
Yeah.
and not oppose their ideas or ideology to other, or taking other rights to live freely. So
Yeah.
I'm so happy for that, and I want to say thank you and give the word to Ninrok.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us, and it is an honor to have you here. And please stay safe. I am shocked by the pressure you're under, and I really hope you stay safe because
And
you're doing is great.
yes, and please
And
stay
thank you
safe
so much.
and take care of yourself. And thank you. And see you in the next politically incorrect, guys.
Yeah.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye bye.